Hey, I heard that you are pretty good at karaoke. No, I heard you got a pretty good voice.
Me and I think we did I Feel Like a Woman by Shania Twain.
Oh, great.
Me and together.
You needed Julie's wig.
I needed one. The weird part was smacking me on the butt during it. That was the weird part.
That's just part of the act. Mm-hmm. It goes with the song.
It was worth it. I want to do the same song again.
Call me Sally?
Yeah, take me out to dinner first.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm a cheap date. Just smile at me.
2 corn dogs. Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 71 of the Slightly Serious Sign podcast. Big shout out to our sponsors. Arlon, hopefully by the time this goes live, I'll actually have their ad done because I keep saying, I need to mention them, and I haven't. So shout out to Arlon for joining our open sponsorship slot that we have available.
Why do we have an open spot?
Some other company. We did a podcast on it already. So Nakusa, thanks for still being around. And Metamark, thank you as well. I talked to Josh way too many times lately, so I appreciate it. It's better than not hearing from a vendor, so I'll take it. MacTac also, we said this in like 2 episodes ago, where I said, if you want to get a shout out on the podcast, it's very simple, okay? You just said we're a cheap date. You just send us any free stuff. We just start shouting people out on the podcast. So MacTac, thanks for the cup. It says stronger together. What tagline is that?
I don't know.
I don't know what it is either.
I went to MacTac's place though. They have a lot of robots there that do some work for you. I could use those around here. Get rid of some of you guys.
You're talking about the people in the back, right?
Yeah. He wasn't talking about me.
If I can find some office people, I'd get rid of them too. Like, I think they had 3, 4, and then all their inventory is all done by robots too. Like it's like they have like a 13-story high building.
It's not that hard. They have that at Family Fair. Have you seen him? He's got a name.
Did you see? You went to see it. So they had a sweeper at the airport that was going down. You walk in front of him, he stops, and I walk in front of him, stop, video him the whole time, and I said, all you guys are getting replaced, like the warehouse guys. Every single one of you. If they can start pulling stuff off the shelf, I don't need anybody.
They can sweep. Yeah, they can sweep
Imagine
all day.
how much nicer this place would be if it was just me here.
It was just a bunch of sweeping robots.
Sweeping, pulling robots. Robots can do the marketing. I can just sit here by myself.
Yeah.
Don't have to deal with any of you guys.
Be a disaster. Even the robots would still be going to therapy.
That is true. So why are you here?
The robot union.
So anyways, episode 71. Welcome, guys. Appreciate you guys being here. We have a new guest that we haven't had before, so I'll let him introduce himself. You'll see a theme with last week's episode, so it'll make sense here. But Matt, if you want to go ahead and introduce yourself, who are you? How long you been in the industry? And kind of what's your current role and how you got into this industry in the first place?
Okay, my name is Matt Smith. I've been in the industry 40 years. Literally got into this industry. My wife was pregnant with our first child, and I've been out of work for 2 months and walked into a place and got into distribution sales back in 1985 and been doing it ever since. I've worked for distributors for 30 plus years and worked for manufacturers for 7 or 8 more years. And now I'm currently the vice president of strategic planning at G2G. So.
Perfect.
Wait, Tyler, I'm just curious. You started working in 85. When were you born?
A little after that. Yeah.
He's not my kid. Trust me.
94?
94. Well, you got it right. Good job. You get 1 gold star today.
I know everybody's birthday.
No, we're not even going to try it because you'll just end up getting
you already
wrong.
forgot a couple of them. So
Yeah.
I know my kids. I only got 3.
You know Domingo's birthday?
Yep. Something 62. 1962.
Yeesh. No.
You gotta be, no, you're 68, 69. When were you born?
No.
Wait, he's 55. How old are you? 58. No, 63.
What?
How old is Domingo?
This is getting worse.
I know Matt's 64.
I'll be 64 in September. Yeah.
Yep. See? Let's see.
Domingo doesn't look a day over 45.
No way. Look at him. He's in the 60s.
No.
55.
No.
58.
No.
Am I going the wrong way?
59.
Oh, you know, I say 58 now, like it's not close. Like you can substitute those after you're over 50. You shouldn't even keep. You just
Wait a minute. Aren't you 63?
We should only have every 5-year birthdays over 50.
Isn't that what is
every 5 years?
Isn't that what Nova said? 63.
Nova thought I was 63.
Yeah. Still the best. So I said my joke got ruined because I had you read through the questions earlier, and I wrote the joke in here, which actually feels sad because usually I don't write them down. But I was like, this was funny because it goes after the first time you called me. That was how this came up. So I said you came. What made you decide to move to G2G? And my follow-up question to that was it just because you only had to scratch out one letter on your previous business card?
That's correct. Yeah. If I could figure out how to take the S and turn it into a 2, I would have saved a lot of money on shirts. So
just flip it upside down.
Yeah.
G? Yeah, but the G's go upside down too. That didn't work. Trust me. I tried.
That's 6.
Yes. It's
9.
It's 626.
Yeah, it was close.
But that is the most common question I get. So
yeah, that's funny. Yeah, the first time he answered the phone, he answered it as his previous employer, and I was laughing. I was like, well, to be fair, it's close. You know, if you didn't say anything, I might not have even noticed because I've done it wrong.
Yeah, how many times have we done it wrong on this podcast?
Done it wrong.
I'm still doing it. It's hard.
Yeah. So what made you decide to move to G2G?
Well, when situations changed in the industry with everybody buying out other people, I've always had great admiration for Sky and for G2G. I've always said that Sky is the most innovative person I've ever met in the LED business. He's always trying to come out with new things, but he just needed somebody to help get the word out better. And so that's what I'm kind of hoping that this new change will be, is we can help promote them and promote G2G and have them be more successful and other people see how innovative they are. So
you came from a role pretty familiar with LEDs. So kind of what do you take of the current landscape with with LEDs in the space and what's kind of happened in the last, 24 months or so?
To me, really and truly in LEDs, the last 24 months to 36 months, I think the innovation has kind of died off. I think everybody kind of got to a point and they said, okay, this is good enough. We're just, sign guys, don't need any more. We only want it so bright. So they just quit being innovative and, just come up with 30 different flavors of vanilla, basically. So that's what I liked about G2G. We had it at our booth at Vegas a month ago, I guess. And it was very interesting because everything we had in there was new. And everybody goes, wow, this is fantastic. This is really innovative. What are you doing? How did y'all do that? And that's what Sky does. He just invents new stuff all the time. So.
Yeah, we talked in last week's episode, which we recorded an hour ago.
Yeah, it's been 45 minutes.
That he listens to the customer and then makes it based off the customer. He doesn't just put out a product and expect, go sell it now. I built it, you go sell it. He actually listens and hey, what do you guys need? Oh, we need this, this, this. He goes and builds what you already said you could sell, instead of trying to convince you to sell something that's not going to sell like other people in the industry.
Well, that's my first conversation before I came on board. I told him, I said, if you hire me, we'll do great and we'll sell X amount of millions of dollars. And he goes, I don't want to be the biggest. He goes, I want to be the one that listens to people and I want to make a difference in the business and difference in the industry. So that right there sold me on why to go to G2G. So
no, screw that. We can do both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you have to now. So you got to pay for the studio. So
that's true. Yeah. It's true.
We want to be the best and sell the most.
Yeah. Both. Yeah. Well, you could, there if you get very good.
I mean, you could always sell the most if you lose money on every sale.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what we always said. We could sell a lot if we didn't have to charge people for it. You know how much material I could push through the door? Man, it'd be the easiest business out there. So if you're interested in kind of what we just talked about with G2G and all that stuff, we did an episode last week. We also did one with Doug, I don't know, a while ago.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Rick will put it on the screen.
And we also
this
did
episode number.
RGB as well.
Right here.
Yeah, and we had the other guy on there.
RGB.
South Africa.
For RGB. So if you're interested in that, we've already done all those episodes, so we're not going to go over kind of more on G2G. We could, but we won't today. So we want to talk to Matt's on the ISA board, correct? And so we just kind of want to talk about with everything going on in the industry, with even the changes like on shows and all that kind of stuff, like we've been talking the last few episodes in terms of the regional shows seem to be shrinking and shrinking and shrinking. And the two big shows in our industry at least seem to be at least staying the same or growing. So kind of talking about where does ISA fit into this landscape on the show side, as well as just as an organization as a whole, and kind of see, your thoughts on it. So, why do you think ISA is kind of important in today's landscape?
Okay, it's really important. It's a very good question, because I've served on state boards, 3 or 4 of them, and I've served on the ISA board for now 6 years, and I'm the secretary treasurer currently. Where ISA is important is they are the voice of the sign community, the graphics community. They are the ones, whenever we get into regulations and restrictions and permits, they're the ones that can fight for it. Everything. They've won some extremely good cases. Had one case, actually, they wrote an amicus brief that went all the way up to the Supreme Court, and we won. I think it was Austin v. Reagan. So it was a very good time to be in the sign business. But that's what ISA is for. They're supporting and promoting the sign business and everybody else. So that is extremely important to do, but you have to be involved. That's probably the biggest thing is with ISA is everybody needs to be involved more. So,
yeah. What? Oh, you're going to say something?
No, I was just going to say that we had a lot of companies that look for they're always going to have regulations on signs. And I think this is where that comes into play, that when you're a member, they have the answers that a lot of sign companies don't know, but they need to ask, and they're trying to find out. That's when ISA comes into play to say, look, here are the rules. Here's what we've got. Here's what you should abide by. They cannot tell you that you should be doing this. So I think that's very important when it comes to the ISA memberships and stuff like that, that's a good resource for the sign industry, which I hear it all the time, is that ISA has pulled in this. When they told me I couldn't do it, I looked it up. They came out, they sent me information. I sent it to the council. The council said, yep, you know what? You're right. You can do it. So it just comes into, I guess, into play.
It's all part of the advocacy. David Hickey heads up the advocacy for ISA, and it's included in your membership. So they've already fought all these fights. They know where it is, dark sky initiatives, everything. You just have to go to them, ask for it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And there's a lot of, what's cool with how the ISA membership works for the sign shop side of things, and you can correct me if I'm wrong on this, but a lot of your regional memberships will kind of get you roped into a lot of what's going on with ISA. So if you're a member of any of the major regional ones, you guys have been spoiled with having some of the best ones out there right now currently. So, but even in the Midwest, we have like the Midwest Sign Association, Illinois and Wisconsin, all that kind of stuff. Which Illinois, by the way, publishing your acronym as ISA is the most confusing. This should, I don't know why I haven't figured that out yet, but it should be like ILSA or something. I don't know. They need to figure it out, because when I get a bill for ISA, and I'll be like, what am I paying for? I don't know what I have here. To find out it's Illinois. Anyways, it's a pet peeve, but any of those will get you roped into a lot of the stuff that's going on with the International Sign Association. So that's a cool add-on if you're wanting to be involved. Locally is obviously always going to be a little bit better in terms of knowing what's going on. I mean, I know the Midwest one has been fighting like even stuff like in Detroit, right? Where it's very specific. It's like they're fighting against these specific ordinances against lit signs, because that seems to be the fight in Michigan for some reason. But that'll get you involved still regionally as well as in the International Sign Association. So I think that's cool. But what do you think the current goals of ISA and the board are, at least right now?
For the board, okay, so for ISA as a total, their big thing is, number one, is trying to make the affiliates, which you keep calling the regionals, we call them affiliates. The affiliates, which would be MSA, TSA, Tri-State, all that, make them stronger. Because again, that's, like you stated, they automatically get membership in ISA when you join MSA, for instance. But trying to make them all stronger, because if they're stronger on the base, then that makes the ISA stronger as a whole. And ISA's big goal right now is to forward everything to make the graphics branding industry stronger. So by doing the shows is one thing, but the education is the big thing. Is we are really striving this year to do with our marketing department to actually have more education available, more classes, so people can literally get certifications. You'll see people, I was certified as a project manager. This is helping people get trained a lot better. So.
Yeah, I know there's a lot of, like we just talked about some of our trainings that we were doing in terms of like cabinets and that kind of stuff with UL certified, right? There's these trainings that are not super clear how you go about it and what exactly you need, because they're not made for our industry, right? On that specific certification, right? It's one that we need, but it's not like their main goal is to get Sign Shop certified, right? So it's not always clear what one do I need to do? What do I need to take? And that's where I think you guys have done a good job coming in and be like, hey, we're doing this class, like come and we'll at least get you started on what that would look like. And I don't see anyone else trying to do that.
No, it's very in depth when you see all the work that goes into it, trying to come up with, and what they'll do is when you go to the affiliates and you go to the leadership committees and you go, what do you want to see? Well, we want to see more internal training for our warehouse people, for our drivers, for, inside sales. How do I train an inside salesperson, outside salesperson, whatever? They will take that and develop a program for it and make a training session for that and then put it online. And then you as a member have access to that. So like I said, I personally have probably taken about 20 different classes. I've had people who are project managers take several classes, and they're very, very, very helpful on what they are. So it's something that's nice that they're doing and constantly working on right now. So the more suggestions we get, the better. Like color management was one years ago, show you how to do color management for your printers and all. So just everything helps.
They probably need me to go to a class on sensitivity.
I think we voted on that one. You didn't get that one. No.
No.
Your name didn't even make the ballot. Yeah. They kept trying to write it down and it just won't even let him enter it in there.
Well, if he gets the robots, he could be sensitive to them. So
yeah, he can do the robot sensitivity training. How to treat your robots.
Yeah,
be nice to your robots.
We'll let you do that one. So the question on our side of things, right? So we're members of, I was going to say 3, but it's actually more than 3 now. I think it's 4 that I know of. It could be more than that at this point, but
5.
I think it's probably at least 5.
I think it's 5.
Who knows?
There's quite a few of them.
Yeah,
there's a bunch of them.
And so, but besides the regional ones, what is distributions? What do you think distribution's role should be in the ISA as a whole?
No, it's real simple. And again, I can speak from experience because over 30 years with distribution, the distributor is the linchpin of the entire sign industry, because they are the linchpin. They are the partnership between the vendors and the sign customer. And we all need each other. Everybody has to be there together. So with distribution, they are the ones that help to keep the organizations the strongest. Sometimes in some organizations, if it wasn't for the distribution partners, it wouldn't be around until the sign companies get strong enough to take over. So distribution is extremely, extremely important, not only just for the industry as a whole, but helping promote it and save it, because they're the ones that get to see all the sign companies. I mean, you will, we talked about it earlier today. You got people that are taking 100 orders a day. That's 100 people. We can only reach so many people, but if you're out there talking to somebody all the time, it really does have an effect. And if you're very, very positive on it, then they'll listen to you, because they listen to you for everything else. They call you up and ask your advice of what LED to use or what material or how would you do this. So if you tell them, hey, I think this ISA is International Sign Association is really important, you should be involved with it. That's what you should do. So they'll listen to you.
Yeah. Sorry to interrupt you guys, but I just want to take a minute to talk about Nakusa, the name behind R-Tape. R-Tape's the #1 application tape out there, but they are more than just tape now. Nakusa has a full range of products out there. Their new one is called NextBond. This is a UV cured adhesive. Why does that matter? It's an eco-friendly and durable option, but comparable to most of the eco-friendly options, this is a cost-effective product. So if you're looking for an eco-friendly product or a durable product or just in general a good vinyl, NextBond is going to be the one for you. This is available at wensco.com as well as all of their other products. So check it out at Wensco or reach out if you have any questions. Oh, and don't forget to use your Nakusa bucks. Have you heard about Metamark? Metamark is a company that sells premium graphic solutions for commercial and fleet signage. So whether that's walls or it's vehicles or it's tables or doors, we loved it so much we put it all over the podcast studio. So you can check it out on our videos or at wensco.com. Yeah, and I think on our side of things, I think maybe we've done more of that on the regional side of things. So that's kind of why when you brought it up to me, we're like, yeah, we should probably talk about it. It was like, I don't know if we've done necessarily our part on that either. And that's the whole point of this in the first place.
I told them we're still mad about not getting our influencer badges for the ISA show.
Questions.
If we would have got the influencer badge, we'd be different.
Yeah.
I said, why? My question I have on here is, why didn't I get one, and how do I get one next year? Those are my two questions.
No, let's get to that question.
I think you have to talk to an ISA board member, so it'd be me.
There you go.
So now that I have your request, I will talk to everybody in July about that.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah.
Okay. If we need to plead our case, just let us know.
Yes. Can we make the cuts of the podcast? Not you guys make the cuts, because there's some things they probably don't want us to be influencers on. I'm guessing.
Well, the really interesting thing about what y'all are doing with this podcast that I've always found, again, I do love the slightly serious part of it, but you're bringing a lot of good things to people's forefront. The one I watched yesterday, or 2 days ago, with the Arlon man was very, very good. And your printers and the cutters and everybody else you've had, manufacturers on here, it does serve a purpose, because you're touching a larger audience that people from my generation, we weren't around that. You just had to wait on somebody to come by with the PDF. So now you're allowing, because of your podcast, you are reaching a lot more people on that. So
yeah, this came up when we were talking about it with Illuminate, who's just on. So that's kind of perfect full circle on this one, though. But we were talking about ACM panel at one of the shows. This would have been, it's been 70 weeks, so longer than that ago. It's been like 2 years ago now at this point, probably. And I just asked them like a very simple question, right? We were having an issue, and I was like, I don't know, I've never seen it before. And they're like, yeah. And they go through and explain it to me, right? And this isn't like a one sentence thing, right? It's like, okay, here's this 5-10 minute explanation as to this very specific problem that you're having. Here's why it's happening in the first place. And you're like, I've never heard anybody say that before, right? And I was saying, if we didn't come to this show, nobody would ever know this, right? Like I couldn't even get it in like good video format, right? That somebody would actually listen through, right? If I made a video that was like, hey, here's why when you cut ACM, it doesn't bend properly, it's going to get like 6 views on YouTube, right? But in podcast form, it seems like it's more digestible, and people are willing to sit through it. But those are the conversations that nobody was having, right? Like if you weren't going to the shows, you're never hearing any of this. And I've been laughing. Even some of our employees were like, yeah, I've learned a bunch from listening to the podcast. You'd be like, that just means we were just doing a terrible job in the first place, right?
When you have employees come that have worked for us a long, long time, like I listen to it every week. I learned so much from the podcast. So I learned more from the podcast that did working for you. I'm like, looks like we've done a poor job.
Yeah. No, but like you said, is everybody learns differently and stuff. And everybody wants to be more visual. So like I said, everybody has a small computer in their hand on the phone, so they can watch it. And if that's what makes them interested to learn how to be safe or learn about a product, that's a fantastic thing.
Yeah, I think the hardest thing that when we talk about all this, it to me, it's always customers that are looking at a price, and we talk about it. You could have the cheapest stuff that you want. We can get it to you, but that's not going to fit your application. Yeah. If you're doing a lot of V-grooving, that plastic that's inside there is going to bend, and it's just going to crack on the cheap stuff. So, I mean, it's just trying to educate customers that it's not always about price. You got to look at that.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. To me, I think it just LEDs, it comes into that play. It just comes into play more and more. Do you want it to last longer? There's certain applications that you have to do with the product? Then you should probably look at 2 or 3 options before you say, oh, it's $5 cheaper, I should buy that one.
Yeah. And I think when you talked earlier about the trainings that ISA is putting on, you're just thinking about, these are things that, like, for people that care about this industry a lot and want to see it grow, these are things that have to be done, but they're not like cheap to put on, right? Like if I want to bring someone in and teach you about a very specific thing, like it's not cheap to take someone away from, and oftentimes you're just taking people away from great shops, right? There are these big shops. They've been doing great work for years, right? And you're like, hey, what you do, other people should know about. And I don't think a lot of people know or understand that. can you show us that, right? Like, and especially now when we're getting some of the people that have been doing this a long time and you're like, hey, maybe before you didn't want people to steal your trade secrets or whatever, but now you're in a spot where it's like, hey, this will just either die with you or we need you to teach it to people. And it feels like there's a lot of these people that are more willing to come out and help, but it only works if somebody can. I mean, some people do it for free, but most of them, if you're willing to pay them, that's the only way we're going to get this information out. And the only people that can do that are people that are willing to pay for it and either give it away or through membership dues.
It's just like the, you're part of the NASSD, or we call it NASD. I don't know why, but we do. But at NASD is all the sign supply distributors are get together, and you're all competitors, but you're all getting together and you're putting aside the competition part to learn from each other and to, bounce ideas off each other. Because again, you can't handle all the business in the United States. One distributor cannot. So therefore, you need everybody to be stronger. So it's, if everybody's on that same level moving up, it works better. It's the same way with the customers. They could want cheap all day long, but if it costs $100 to learn what screw to turn, it's worth it. And
I think that I've been in the industry for quite a while, and the one thing that I noticed that in the recent 5-10 years is that I see a lot of sign shops willing to ask for help from other sign shops more than what I've used to back in the day. If a printer goes down, the guy up the road, hey, can I borrow your printer? More and more I see them saying, yes, you can come in. Or us even allowing people to come in. Yeah, absolutely. Come in, use it. Back in the day, it wasn't like that. It was it was cut. No, hey, I don't want you to see what products I have or that stuff.
You would have some that Mike probably remembers that, if somebody's up here traveling and they go, man, I need some lamps or whatever, they would go buy a sign because they wouldn't be in Grand Rapids. They'd be up in some other city in Michigan, Ann Arbor, and they would call a sign shop up there and borrow a couple of lamps for them or whatever. So I'll pay you for it. He goes, no, just don't worry about it, or a transformer or something like that. You would have that. So they would help. The competition end of it is very bad, but the whole thing is, as long as they learn from each other, but they help each other, because if you help me, I'm going to help you.
Absolutely.
So,
yeah, and you see that, and I've always laughed, like, I don't know what comes first, like the chicken and the egg situation here, but it seems like the bigger shops that we know of are ones that are willing to almost like give away work, right? Where they're like, yeah, whatever you guys need, we're open to it. And I always said, like, I don't know if it's they have so much work that to give some away, it doesn't hurt them, or if that's how they've always done it, and because of that, more work has come their way. I think the latter is true in that one, where it's these customers who are so willing to give, even to some of their competitors, end up getting way more work than they can ever know what to do with, right? And these customers that are trying to hold it all, we're like, I don't want to give out a single secret, I'm not helping anybody, like this is dog eat dog out here, are the ones where you're like, you show up, now in May, and you're like, how are you guys doing? Be like, yeah, we could use some more work. And then you go to the next guy who's, the nicest guy, and he's like, dude, I'm 6 weeks out, like I couldn't take another customer now if I wanted to. And I think that's what ISA does well, is kind of bring all those people together, be like, hey, all of you guys, like, we're all on one team here, right? And sure, we're competing for the same business. Some of us are, at least. But for the most part, like, if this industry gets bigger and better, that's good for all of us, which is what we've been preaching.
It goes back to, some of it just goes back to keeping up with your neighbor, right?
Yeah.
Like, your neighbor puts a new bright white sign. This just happened on 28th Street. The T-Mobile puts a new bright white, perfect white sign up. The next door neighbor, what do? Next thing you know, they're got a nice bright white sign. You go down the street a little bit, and now there's another one. There's another one. It takes, and that's what you got to understand as the sign company is, the more good signs are out there, the more your customers want a better sign.
Right. Yeah.
And the more we keep getting better signs, the more work that's out there. Like, car wraps are the same way. The more good car wraps out there, the more, people want their car wrapped.
Yeah. Yeah. Nothing sells signs and wraps better than a good sign and a good wrap.
Right.
Yeah.
And the only way we know that is by learning from each other or from somebody teaching it to us.
Right.
And like we talked about that with G2G stuff. We were just talking about it at lunch where they just don't even know what they can do. Right.
Right.
And I think some sign shops are thinking like, oh yeah, my customer would never pay for that. But then if you just present it to them like, hey, I know we're just doing like a regular 4x8 sign here, but like, have you thought about doing these two minor things? And be like, oh no, how much does that cost? Be like, well, it's not terribly much more than you were going to pay. Be like, yeah, sure, throw it in. But if they don't ever offer it to them, you're just like, yeah, all I do is 4x8 signs on wooden posts. That's all I ever do.
Well, but again, it comes down to the sign company is the branding expert. They're coming to you, if it's T-Mobile or whatever, they're coming to you saying, I want you to make me a sign. I think I know what I want, but they don't know what's out there. The branding, the sign company is the branding expert. I mean, just like this sign here, you could have just put vinyl letters up there and that'd have been it. But instead, y'all decided, no, we wanted a certain look. You consulted somebody and they made you a sign that stands out and has depth to it. So
it is cracked. So everybody that's watching, it is cracked. Tyler, can you tell us how it got cracked?
You still keep saying this. I don't know how I cracked it. I thought you came in on Monday and it was on the ground.
Yeah, here's what happened. You came back from a wrap class.
Okay.
You threw a bunch of rolls in my office because you couldn't find any place else
by the sign.
And then they tipped over the weekend, knocked my sign on the floor.
Oh, that might probably make sense. Sure.
I got a feeling you put those rolls in the back of the door.
Yes.
And Mike actually opened the door, pushed one of those rolls onto the sign fell off.
Hey, you want to go? I like your story. I'm sticking with it.
You want to know what happened one time in my office? There was all these pictures of my grandkids up against the glass. And apparently we must have got a really bad storm because I came in one Monday morning after I'd got rid of somebody and all of them were smashed on the floor.
That is weird. Huh. It seems odd.
So I guess it must have been the storm. We couldn't have possibly been the person that was mad at me.
It was very windy in the office that day.
Well, did you ever think on the crack on the sign had something to do with the maniac that had a chainsaw for a video that was around?
Yeah, he probably turned around and
hit it. And
listen, I'm full safety guy.
Yeah, right.
I'm full on safety guy.
No.
You know what's funny is
ISO shut us down.
Even when we recorded that episode, I said, okay, yeah, let's just not at least turn it on, like it'll stink in here. And he's like, yeah, that's probably a good idea. And then we go to do the first take and he just rips it on. Okay. I guess it's on now. What are we going to do?
We're not supposed to have gasoline.
Just gas fumes inside.
I got a quick story about safety. So my neighbor, the Sparta House neighbor, why we can't be neighbors anymore, is he was fixing his fence. Like he just has a regular dog fence. He's out there with his hard hat and his safety glasses and his gloves on to fix his fence. Like we just can't, I told him we can't be neighbors. Like there's way too much safety gear right now going on. Like this is not like, and then he has like one of those 2-man post hole diggers, like one like ours. And they both have,
he used 2-man.
They both have like steel toe shoes on, helmet. And you know how I did it? Like it's on video, barefoot. Yeah. Holding it by myself, just hoping it doesn't rip out of your hands.
Yeah, it hurts real bad.
And I remember my pre-workout was cider. So I drank a good bottle of cider, barefoot.
Alcohol-free cider. Just regular, ordinary cider in a glass bottle.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, what you're saying about the sign, literally when we got this sign made, we literally just said, like, here's the logo for our podcast. And we're like, can you guys make us one? And they're like, how? And I was like, I mean, you see the logo. You tell me. Like, I'm not gonna.
The rendering was neon.
Like, yeah, and he's like, what size? And I was like, I mean, like, how tight can you bend the flex? And he's like, oh, I guess we can look at that. And then he sends it to me, and he was like, yeah, it's gonna be whatever this is, the perfect size, by the way.
Yeah.
46 and a half wide by 48 inches tall. And I was like, sure, sounds good. Perfect. Send it to us. And but it wasn't us being like, oh no, I'm not so sure about that. I was just like, I mean, you're going to tell me, I don't know what, like we sell the supplies. Okay. I'm not on the sign making side of the business. Right. So when it comes to that one,
that's fine.
I have no idea. Right. I have to ask the professionals.
Who picked the name?
Yeah. Who picked that name?
Slightly Serious. Why it had to be Slightly Serious?
Well,
because you grew up with me.
Yeah. Well, if I made it the Serious Sign podcast, who's going to listen to the Serious Sign podcast?
Nobody.
But Domingo wanted it just to be the Slightly Serious podcast. He didn't want to talk about science.
I remember his original opening was
the first
Slightly Serious podcast.
He said Slightly Serious podcast.
Like, what the?
So, but anyways, yeah, I mean, that's where it comes down to those. How do you know what sign you're going to want if you don't know? Like we've talked about this before with sign shops where in terms of us getting them collateral to put like in their check-in areas, because I always tell people like, what you may not realize, especially if you've been doing this a long time, is that the lingo we use doesn't make any sense to anybody else, right? So when you're like, someone comes in and they're like, yeah, I want a sign on my wall. I want it to just be like, like letters, next to each other. Okay. Do you want it like lit up? Yeah, lit up. Do you want it front or backlit? I want them lit. I don't know. What does that mean?
Yeah. Do you want push through letters?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. What? do you want acrylic or do you want polycarbonate? Be like, I want red. Is that an option?
What kind of red? You want ruby red? Do you want?
Yes.
But if you like, we have to do a job of teaching our customers, and our customers have to do a job of teaching their customers. But if nobody's showing them how to do that or giving them tools for that, it's not really that easy. Like sign making isn't as simple as we make it out to be, because we've been doing this a long time, right? I mean, Rick knows this as well. Like when he started, everything came up. He's like, I don't understand what you guys are talking about here. Can someone explain this to me?
Now he runs us to death, doesn't he? Like he's sitting there, like he's already mad about something that we said.
Messed something up. Yeah.
No, it's like you said earlier, that when you've got somebody making the sign company, how does distribution fit into the world? Is distribution's job is to be the middleman between the vendors and of information, the highway of information to the sign customer. So it's up to you to, as distributors, to teach everybody about all these new things coming in. You basically need to be, I've always said this, you need to be a traveling ISA show. And when the affiliates, the local sign shows, which I think are extremely, extremely important, it's the cheapest way for a sign company to bring their employees to an event and without having to go to Vegas or Orlando and to see everything. So, you're going to get 10 minutes in front of this, but everybody's going to see something different. Mike walks in, he's going to look at the Metamark stuff and he'll look at it differently than I will. And such. So everybody looks at it differently. Everybody's going to get something out of it. If whatever you want to get out of it, you'll get out of it. So
that's like our open houses. Not everybody's open houses, but like the Wenska ones.
No, y'all do a really good job. Y'all get a very good turnout in your open houses. Open houses are tough.
We laugh at some of these open houses on like LinkedIn and stuff. They take a picture of the open house and it's like
2 people.
Okay, you got one person in the background. Like, and then they want like the one that copied us on the Yeti cooler. So we started giving out Yeti coolers. So we found one and copied him. Like, I bet they got a 50-50 shot of winning that sucker. I bet it's either him or that other sign shop that showed up to the open house.
I was going to say, to the point that you're bringing up, is that I think everybody that does signs can learn something every single day about any type of product that's out there. You'll know when you are a sign person, when you're walking along and you see a sign and you want to know, what material did they use? How did they put it together? Is it adhesive? Is it screws? You start picking apart the sign. That's when you know that you're sucked in.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You do.
Because when I go to the airport, my wife's like, come on.
Yeah.
Come on.
It's true. When you start picking apart a sign, you go to Vegas.
She's not. So. She's like, do you have to go?
No.
She's like, can you just stay home? She's not saying come on. She's like, can you just stay home?
Yeah, pretty much. I love my wife, by the way.
Guess she's listening.
Guess she catches this one.
I'm going to clip the first half and send it to her.
Yeah. Is my laundry done?
Oh, that would not go over, Michael.
Yeah, I don't know. The main point we're trying to make here is there's so much to know in this industry. And if there's not people actively going out there and talking about it, that you're not going to know about it. And with the changes we've seen in the industry, I mean, we've probably cut the distribution's outside sales force is probably 50% of it what it was 24 months ago, if we're being honest with ourselves here. And all that means is there's 50% less people walking into sign shops every day and telling people about the new stuff that's out there.
And products are going to die because of it, because you have some people that are just like, hey, what do you buy? I can sell it to you cheaper. And you have people out there showing it. If the people like us aren't out there showing it, how are they ever going to know to buy it? They're never going to, like, you can market products pretty good, but until you actually touch something, feel something, who's really buying it? Yeah. Like, there's some that are obvious, but there's a lot of products like, no, like, I think like the Arlon 4400. Oh, it's just the easy stick up. Like, you won't know until you put it in your hands and you put it up on the wall and you're like, what? It's that simple. And unless we're out there showing it, who else is showing it? Like you can't call, oh, what do you buy for windows? Oh, I buy that. Okay, I can sell it to you cheaper.
Yeah.
Well, when you talk to a sign company and you ask them, say, what's the most important thing in distribution for you? They will always tell you. Surprisingly, they won't go price. They'll sit there and say, I want somebody that's going to come by and bring me information. And what I've always said is, if Domingo's going to come by and they won't let, just pop in or call up and say, I'll be there in 30 minutes. If they will not set aside time for him, they don't see him as a value added asset. But if Mike comes in and says, hey, I'll be there in 10 minutes. Oh yeah, they'll clear their desk because they know you're always bringing value to them and they're learning from you. And I used to always say, if they're going to pay $100 for that sales call, it was, your value to them. So that's what distribution has to be.
Yes. Yeah. And I always find it funny. Like we were just talking about open houses where, you'll be like, oh, what'd you think? Like, did you see anything new or exciting? And someone will be like, yeah, I saw this sweet new stuff from whoever. And you'll be in the back of your head, be like,
I don't even
know. Or it would go one way or the other, right? Yeah. You'll be like, I didn't know about that. Or it'll be the other way. Be like, that thing's been out for 4 years. Yeah. Be like, we've probably sent this out in emails 6 times now, but that doesn't register to them until you physically get it into their hands, right? Like you think about some of these products where it's like this, we talked about in the last podcast with Sky, where I said, how do you look at a spec sheet and tell if it's like a good product or a bad product? And even he said the only way is to put it in your hands and see them side by side. Mm-hmm. And that is half of our industry, right? Is we need to see it in person and get them side by side. And that's what we're trying to do with the open houses, right? And what I say is trying to do with the shows as well.
Like we talked about this morning in the meeting is, well, if you were trying to train people on our products, we can give them little PDFs all the time, or we can have a demo and have them cut the material themselves and make their own little Winsco sign and everything. And then they go, oh, now they can walk around and tell everybody, look what I made. So,
yeah, it's really interesting when you talk to people at the open houses that, like you brought up, did you see anything new? And just like, I'll be honest with you, I saw a lot of stuff that I should be using that I didn't even know about. And it's like, first thing I always ask, who's your sales rep?
Yeah. Who's your rep?
Oh, I get it.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh, yeah. He won't be here next month.
Yeah. But I mean, that's your goal, right? Our whole point is when something new comes out, we would like you to know about it, right? One, because obviously we'd like to sell it. That's kind of how this whole thing works, right? We need to make some money here, but if we win, they win. That's what I made this joke at the start of the rap class where I asked them, the question I asked to start the class was, our goal with this class is for you to be more comfortable. What is what I left the blank at? And it asked people that raise their hands, right? And they're like, wrapping vehicles, like whatever, cutting vinyl. And I clicked the slide and it was buying vinyl. That was the answer to the question. And I said, okay, this is a joke, right? But like my whole purpose here is that you get so comfortable that you buy 50 kits a year, right? And the point of that is that if we do our job right and your business takes off because of it, we both win. Mm-hmm. That's what's great about this business is like, yes, I would like you to buy vinyl because that means ideally, assuming you're not messing it all up, which you always joke, we like that too, but
we like to mess up every third roll.
Yeah. But if we can get you more comfortable and you're selling more signs because of it, or selling more wraps because of it, or making more LED signs from it, we win and you win. Like it's such a nice part to be in versus me selling, like food. It's like, okay, well, anyone can sell food and it's gone, right? There's no benefit, but we're in this, it's B2B, right? My whole goal is your business grows, my business grows. That's all.
It's a partnership.
And if you're putting good products out there, word's going to get out there that they're going to want your wrap. If you're doing the wrap, they're going to want your business and they're going to give it to you. So as long as you're putting good products out there with good wraps with good products and you know what you're doing. I went to the shop the other day to look at a Gerber Edge machine.
Big surprise.
And this person,
let me guess, this person was 87 years old.
No, she was young. She took our wrap class and I said, can I go inspect the vehicle? No.
Oh, I know exactly where he went. And they do have a Gerber Edge. Yeah.
Yeah. And it needs to be repaired.
They did take the wrap class twice.
No, actually, I looked at it. It looks really good. She did really good.
So, but all that to say, like the only way that we're getting here is just training and information. And obviously that was my kind of asking you that question is what's distribution's role in this is obviously get out as much information as we can, which is obviously what ISA's goal is as well. So some last questions I have here. So for people listening, how can they help with ISA's goal?
The big thing with ISA is always start from the local level. Get involved with the state affiliates, state associations. Get on their boards. If you want to get more involved with ISA, we have the leadership committees, steering committees. We have task force all the time, like digital wrap task force, or different things that everybody can get involved in. So you can be as involved as you want, or just stay on the local level. But I mean, everybody, we have the ISA Elite, which is for people 35 and under, and that's been extremely successful. I mean, we probably have 170 people apply every year for 35 spots.
Oh, wow.
And it's a very good, it's a great networking, kind of going what you were saying about people not wanting to go because you go to my trade secrets. It's done a total 180 now, where now you have people from across the country going in there, and they're competitors, and they're seeing the value, what their people are getting out of this by going to it. So it's gotten better. It's got a lot better, but I would definitely say get involved on the local level. And then if you want to get involved on the national level, start with the steering committee or go to get on a task force. That's the easiest way to get involved. So
perfect.
Mm-hmm. Be influencers.
You can be influencers. Yes.
We're trying our best. Well, this is step one. We had to have on the podcast, I think.
Okay.
We're one way. I mean, we got a long way to go. It's like 11 months until the next one. So we got plenty of time to win them over. So I'm feeling pretty good about it.
You liking your chances?
Yeah, I'm feeling good. We'll find out. So the last questions we didn't really talk about the trade shows at all, but what do you kind of think? We keep talking about the regional shows seem to be shrinking. What do you think ISA's goal or role is in the trade show scene for the sign industry?
For the national level, they're trying to be more innovative, and we try to expand it all the time to meet what people are wanting. Wasn't that many years ago, we didn't have a wrap area. Now we have a wrap area. This last year, we have a contest of building signs. We've done different things with that. Shout out to Louis DeSantis out in Sign Shop Illuminated in Colorado. That was one of the ideas that came from an affiliate from the Colorado Sign Association, was to do a contest like that. And that's been very, very popular. The other things on the local levels, we're trying to help the affiliates get stronger, because you have some that are very, very strong. You have some that are very weak. And if they're strong, the only way they're going to be strong is by having a changeover in leadership. You can't have Domingo and I can't be on the board for 20 years. I mean, we need to be on for a term and get off.
Yeah,
I agree.
Amen.
Yeah, Mike needs to get off.
Listen,
well, NASSD.
I've been on the NASSD board far too long, but because we went through a ton of changes, that they just keep me on just because we've been. I mean, as soon as these changes are done, I'm off.
How many of the NASSD board members listen?
Probably all of them.
Because I heard there's an opening at the kids' table.
So here, look, I'll tell everybody what happened. So this is how it started. Someone had a bright idea, put me on the board. First of all, I think it was actually John Burkemper from Grimco. So I get on a board, and then he's the president. I think I was the vice president. And then when you're the president at the last dinner, you're supposed to get up and thank everybody. And like, that's your suit and tie. Like, I never wear a suit. And of course, I got to put a suit. I had to buy one probably. I'm probably wearing the same one too. So I have to get up in my suit and thank everybody, thank all the people. And for some reason, I decided, you know what? I might as well just spend some time roasting some people when I'm up here. So I start with, hey, we got this fancy dinner, and like at this table is like Jared Granberry, Nick Wilson. I think Jeff was at that table. It was all the younger generation. Whereas at that table, I said, how can we have a nice fancy place like this and we still got a stinking kids table over here? And then it just went on from there. I mean, it literally, there was nobody safe in the room. Like I said, we should have like a lifetime achievement award, but who do we give it to? Like the people that are just like way too old and shouldn't even be here. And then I started listing them. I put Judy on that list too. So that's how the kids table got started at NASSD. But no, we did just add a new board member. So.
Yeah, and he was from the kids' table. So I heard this is one of those situations where I was in a group text where it doesn't make any sense why I'm involved in the first place, but I'm just happy to be here.
Yeah, so I texted Jeff.
I just chime in randomly in the middle of the conversation. They'd been talking for 4 days in this group chat. I'd just been there the whole time. And I was like, you know what? I should let them know I'm here at least.
I think you're on a few of those where like I'll type someone's name and it was like it's that person and Tyler. And instead of just finding just them, I just click on the first one and just start texting them. So Tyler gets to see all the texts.
That's Jared too.
Jared, yeah, you and Jared are on one too.
One time I just get a random text from Jared that goes to him. I was like, obviously I missed a whole conversation here. I have no idea what this text message is about. It's just basically a picture, no context. Nobody responds. I have no idea what's going on. I'm just like, well, I'm just happy to be here.
I showed him I have a video of me deer hunting with a GSG hat.
Yeah.
And the context of the thing is I'm sitting up in my stand and I'm scrolling all around and I'm like, this is such a beautiful sight, but here I am up here looking like a jackass. And then I pan to my hat and I have a GSG hat on. I said, I hope nobody sees me up here.
It was at least camo. So
it was camo.
So
it was camo.
It was fun. So
then we put the hat on the dead deer.
Yeah, well, it worked then. Success. Anyways, Matt, thanks for coming on. We appreciate you talking about kind of what's going on at ISA. Like I said, I don't know if we've done a great job on the national level of talking about what's going on, so I appreciate you coming on.
How many minutes we in?
Talking about it. Yeah, Rick, tell me.
50-ish.
Yeah, okay, that's what I thought.
Hey,
So,
Matt, any shout outs you want to give out to your wife, kids, anybody like that?
Oh, yeah. We didn't do family at the beginning. Usually we do that.
usually do a family, and we usually do what you like to eat at. But
I have one more. I have one more thing I want to say.
hold on, he
After
may have some
Matt
shout outs.
Saving me now.
Give some shout outs. You don't want to give a shout out to anybody?
Shout out to my wife and my 3 children. I have 3 children and 4 fantastic grandchildren. So
There you go.
and all. And as far as places I like to eat, anything that's new and adventurous,
Okay.
I'm getting to start liking a lot better. So
Oh, good deal. Good deal. Go ahead.
Okay, here's my shout out. So Matt and I were talking last night, and he brought up something that I think this needs to be addressed. So we're Slightly Serious Sign Podcast.
here we go.
Like,
we almost made it.
like I don't.
What did I say?
No, this is great. This is great. I don't typically hold a grudge, but I hold a grudge against a certain corporation.
No, I'm following you.
So I hold a grudge a little bit against the Yorston group, and I shouldn't. So Matt said we should settle this. Matt's being the
Mediator.
mediator.
Yeah.
He said you should settle with an arm wrestling match or something. I'm like, you know what? It's a good idea. Because the MMA fight, I mean, we could do it for charity for the kids, but it'd be a little bit brutal. So we don't want to do that. So let's settle it with an arm wrestling match at Print United. Adam, Print United, arm wrestling match. You'll have 3-4 months to train?
Yep, that's about
Adam. 4 months or whatever to train. We'll have an arm wrestling match. Someone will get us a booth at Print United. You and I have an arm wrestling match. We'll squash this whole thing, become friends afterwards. You in? I'm in.
All proceeds will go to.
Yeah.
ISA. There you go.
Yeah, Print United would not let you give money to ISA there. But it'd be a nice little monetary betting side.
We could have some side bets. Whatever.
Yeah.
So don't bet on Adam.
Anyways, that was all I had.
And if there's a couple people that I have arm wrestled in this business that I should shout out right now. I think Avery has the videos. So Brandon Smith, you know Brandon Smith? He decided he'd arm wrestle me after I just arm wrestled Greg Shove because he just had to see if it was real or not, if Greg was faking. And so, Adam, you're next.
Have you ever arm wrestled Todd Dornicker at Principal?
That's why I need him too. Maybe we can put him on here too. He's a beast too.
He's a beast.
He is a beast. His hands are like.
He has some great stories.
I arm wrestled him one time. Why I don't know, and he just crushed it. It was ridiculous. So
yeah, that maybe we can do that one too. I always like a good challenge, and I'm not afraid to pull a muscle or tear a muscle.
We know.
Challenge.
We know. He's gonna leave the show just his arm just limp.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, this is the end of it for him.
Put it back in the socket.
Yeah. Maybe by this time I might already be having surgery on my leg too, because I have to go to get my ultrasound, all that stuff done. So apparently, when you guys pushed me during that race, might have tore something.
Well,
someone did say. I think it was Matt said. Matt said, "I think I saw your son from behind push you," and that's what I said. Yeah, you're probably right. I didn't feel it, but I bet he was. I bet he did push me. That's how I hurt myself.
To be fair, I didn't push you.
Yeah, because you were too far behind me.
That doesn't mean I wouldn't have pushed you, though.
Yeah, if you could have reached me, you were so far behind me.
I would have pushed you.
I was just thinking, Tyler's in back of him, and he's not beating me. Boom.
Yep, that's what happened. If you could have reached me.
I'm just happy that you stepped in front of me for 1 second, so I at least have a year's worth of excuses about why I didn't win that race. So
Yeah, but didn't you jump over him?
no, I had to go around him. Got in the way.
Down.
Okay.
Pushed you down.
I would have stepped right on him.
We know you walked over, put the camera on my face. Nobody's helping me up around here. I'm just laying there on the wet pavement.
For those that really want to watch the video again, you need to pay attention to the detail of the camera work because the camera tilts down at him.
He says,
And that's me.
he says, Domingo didn't even come and help me. He said, yeah, I moved the camera. And I went back and watched it, and you just watched the camera. As you fall, the camera just slowly starts
Slowly
tilting.
goes down to show.
See how I'm treated around here, Matt?
It was almost like it was planned.
Yeah, it's nonsense.
Oh, it was perfect. We couldn't have planned it better for you to fall
Right there.
at the finish line.
Right there.
Yeah, it was great.
It's awesome.
We'll try again next year.
Rick, I don't know why you're smiling. You didn't help me up either. You followed me in with the camera.
I followed you all the way to your office.
Yeah, all the way to the office.
Objective, I have to just get it on tape.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
He's the camera guy.
Yeah.
Guys, before we leave today, I just wanted to ask you one quick question, and that is, what is a pirate's favorite application tape? R-tape. R-tape is the #1 application tape in the United States, and it comes with an RLA, which is a release liner adhesion, meaning it's going to stick to the liner. Even on cut graphics, if you roll it, it's not going to tunnel, wrinkle, or curl, or anything like that. So if you're looking for the best application tape for cut graphics out there, R-tape RLA is for you, and you can get it at wensco.com. All right. Enough off-topic conversations. Matt, thanks again.
Thank y'all very much for having me.
Coming
Matt.
out here just to do the podcast. I know, long travel just to come do the podcast. It's gonna be my joke every time someone comes in for not podcast related and come on. I appreciate you flying all the way out here just to do this 1 hour and then fly right back home.
Fly
It's
right
very
back.
nice
Yep.
of you.
When you're influencers, that's what happens.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah,
I come to you. So yes,
There we go.
it's your world, Tyler, and we just live in it.
thank you.
There you go.
That's what Domingo always tells me.
Always. Let's just do what Tyler
Tyler
wants
But he
to
always
do.
says it so
Condescending.
Yeah, like he's got a grudge against me for it. I don't understand it.
Nothing.
Maybe that's because you didn't let him in the last podcast.
Nothing but love for
Yeah.
you.
Well,
I understand it. You pushed me down during the race, dude, and now I'm hurt.
it's okay. You'll be okay. It's good for you, stretch it out a little bit. Anyways, thanks for listening, guys. Hopefully you guys got something good out of this. And support your local affiliate.
Yes.
I almost said sign
Absolutely.
association.
Do you know
A sign
I
association.
did hit a hole in one at an MSA event, and they sent me a car. It was a Matchbox car, but they sent me a car. I got the whole letter in my office. Hey, normally when you
Is it a
when
Ferrari?
when you hit, I don't remember what it was. I threw it out. I think. I mean, we can cut that out, Rick.
All right.
No.
Thanks for listening.
All right.
See you in the next one.
All right. See ya.
See ya.